In this video, I want to use a creative framework that we can deploy right here in our academic dismissal period. So let's imagine, or better yet, mentally simulate ourselves as practicing lawyers right now, whether as a litigator or transactional, whatever side of the coin that you're on and want to pursue. And we have this particular case or deal right in front of us. And as this case or deal goes on, it gets hot and heavy. It's all over the place. Back and forth arguments, all these different factors, left and right, and it's just messy. And all these different variables are things that we never expected. All these complexities in the case and in the deal. And with this case or deal drags out for months and maybe even years. Who knows? But it's more time than we calculated and more effort that we estimated. We just didn't know beforehand until we really got in it. But do we, as lawyers or lawyers in general, just say, oh, it's too hard or it's taking too long? Do we tell this to the client like, you know what, this is too much, it's all over the place, you're all over the place, I quit, I can't take this anymore, let's go scrap it? No, we are in it to win it, no matter how long it takes and no matter what it takes for ourselves and for our client. So if we really think about it, lawyers are always in the middle of a case or a deal. And in this middle is all these complexities, all these issues and messiness and all over the place until it comes to a close. And then it's on to the next one. And this case, this particular deal can be dragged out for we don't know how long until a final judgment or settlement is made. So I believe that this middle moment is not the moment for any lawyer to put their head in the sand and just to check out. No, this is where lawyers, the top of the top, the best of the best, prove their value and really have that higher level thinking, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and deploy this creativity to put themselves, put their client in the best desirable position to win or get whatever they desire. Same applies to us in our case. Our case is like an academic and personal case with our law school. No final judgment has been made on our case. It's just being dragged out for 2 years. ABA rules and our law school says we have to wait for 2 years. But it is up to us and us alone to work in this middle moment of our own complexities, thoughts, emotions, all these circumstances, all these different things. All are all over the place, just like a case, just like a deal. But it is up to us to simulate ourselves as lawyers in this moment to think on a higher level, to get greater perspective, to go within ourselves, to find creative solutions, to put ourselves in the best position to be accepted back into law school, or if it's a deal, because I see this as a deal that we are making to our law school. We want to persuade them to say yes. We want to broke a deal with them to make a promise to them and that they can agree to it and that we won't break. So I believe we have to see this as being in the middle of a case. And if we can see it in this realm, even in this academic dismissal period, I believe this is the ultimate mental and emotional training ground for us to develop this skill and to even just to work this out and figure it out. Because it's a fallacy to think that we are going to somehow develop this skill just because we are a lawyer. No, this is something that comes from within us, our personal development, not because of some lawyer status. No, this is something that comes from our self-esteem, our self-identity, how we identify with challenges, how we respond to adversity, because how we've been conditioned and programmed throughout our lives, how we respond to adversity is how we respond to adversity. But here's the cool thing. We can shift, we can reprogram, we can retrain ourselves to respond to adversities, identify with challenges in different and meaningful and purposeful ways. So that's why I believe this academic dismissal period is a rich experience in gym. So we have to ask ourselves, if we are not willing to fight for ourselves, represent ourselves in our own academic personal case with the law school, and represent ourselves in the most valuable way right here and right now, and as we are on the road to reapply for law school admissions, what makes us think that we can fight and represent our clients in the best way possible when their circumstances, their legal issues are hot and messy and it's all in the middle, and we are trying to close the case out, close the deal out? If we can't do it for ourselves, what makes us think that we can do it for clients? So if we are thinking about this and putting ourselves in this framework, it makes it real right here and right now. Because we can't just leave it up to chance or just think just because we're going to be a lawyer that it's just going to happen. No, this is something that we have to develop, and it takes time. So that's why this 2 years is so crucial to develop and to be in this middle, to feel everything, not resisting, being in it and figuring it out. Because we have to think about our future clients. We have to think about how we handle adversity. So not only do we want to be hired for our legal skills, but hire us because we can work under any unfavorable conditions. No matter how hot and heavy it gets, we can work through it, we can think through it. That's where the money is. That's where the top of the top lawyers and the great of the great lawyers are. That's how they get paid. And I'm going to take some inspiration from this sports lawyering packet. I am a member of the Sports Lawyers Association, and in my membership packet, this was in it. And I read, Introduction. Most of you will never earn a dime performing legal work in the sports field. Prepare to fail and have other marketable legal skills. This is meant to be realistic and statistically true. It is not meant to discourage you. This is an intensely competitive field. Even if you make a solid effort to succeed, you must have other legal skills which you can utilize to earn a living. And it just talks about a practical guide to sports agency and in the different sides of sports lawyering. But that introduction, I have that sheet on my bathroom counter, and I look at it every single day, and I read it every single day. And it's so real that this is the cutthroat industry, competitive industry that we are in. So it's better if we can market ourselves that we can handle challenges, respond to challenges and adversities. This is what the law industry is all about. It's the industry of overcoming. It's not an industry of easy challenges and easy opponents and easy cases. Easy is not respected in any competitive industry, any competitive performance. Easy is something that you're supposed to win. You're supposed to overcome. But the greats are greats. The lawyers that are the top of the top are who they are, and they have their success because they can push through adversity no matter how low or how difficult it gets. They can push through it. So we have to see ourselves in the middle of this, in the middle of our mess, in the middle of it all, even me looking at myself for what it is, how I was so off in my 1L academic dismissal period. But I don't judge myself. I don't put my self-esteem in I was wrong or I was off. I am putting all of my energy into find creative solutions to fix my inefficiencies and come up with greater standards and greater systems that I can put in place, because that past performance is not me. We are not a product of our past performances. We are a product of what we refuse to remain. So let's refuse to remain in this academic dismissal period or think that we suck. No, it's not that we suck. We just have to push through it. See ourselves. Audit ourselves. We have what it takes. We are insanely brilliant. So let's bring it out. Working in this middle. Thinking about our future clients, future firm, future business, and being in it. Bringing it to us right here and right now. Developing the mental and emotional skills that it takes to have a long and fruitful career in the law industry. Because only the agile, tough, and resilient survive in the law industry and just in any competitive field. So we have what it takes. They could have picked any lawyer in town, our future clients I'm talking about. But they heard about us. They know we have what it takes. They heard that, hey, when it's hot and heavy, we are that lawyer to close a deal. We have to close our law school. We got to be in this middle to close our law school, to persuade them to see it in our favor, for them to say yes. That is a hidden legal skill that we can develop right here in this period. That is very marketable. So one day at a time, unwavering faith, extraordinary effort. And let's be legendary. Keep it going. Keep it moving, champ.